I'm going to get started pretty quickly. I want to welcome you guys to our stream today. I know that some of us are also listening on SoundCloud and watching on YouTube, so welcome. Thanks for checking us out. As some of you know, we do a bi-weekly stream focused on health and wellness with my amazing boss, Dr. Millen. And I'm going to bring her in. She's going to introduce herself, but I invite you to definitely be interactive with the chats, ask your questions that you have, and then we're actually going to give you some information about something that we're offering, some free services starting in the middle of the month. So without further ado, most of you guys are familiar with Dr. Millen, but I'm going to bring her in, and she's just going to give us a quick hello, kind of introduce herself, and then we'll bring in our special guest.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Can you hear me? Hi, this is Dr. Millen, nurse practitioner, Lotus Integrative Health and Nursing. And, you know, we've been doing these shows.
Uh-oh, I can't hear you now.
I just got somebody trying to call me on the phone. So, okay, sorry about that.
This is all real time, very casual. It happens. No worries. It doesn't look like anybody's in the chat yet, so you could start over. Go ahead.
So, all right. So this is Dr. Millen, nurse practitioner of Lotus Integrative Health and Nursing. And here we are doing a live stream, and we're going to talk about integrative nutrition coaching. And I have a very good friend of mine, Brandie Otero, who is coming on and is going to talk to us about nutrition, integrative nutrition, what that means, and basically a lot about food, which is one of my favorite topics, and I know one of everybody else's favorite topics. So yeah, I can't wait. And she has some surprises for us. And I think a more fun, interactive session this time, which I'm really looking forward to. And she's a really good friend of mine, so I'm really excited to bring her on.
Yes, awesome. Well, I'll go ahead and bring in Brandie then. Quick hello, everyone. Hi, Amanda. DJ Andres Antonio, hello. Think of some questions, guys, because it's going to be a really fun or it's going to be a really fun stream. DJ Andres Antonio said, I went home last week and went over all the things my daughter's exposed to. Yeah, good. I'm glad that you're incorporating us into your lifestyle. All right, so let's go ahead and bring in Brandie.
Hi, hello, everyone. Hi, ladies. Hi, everyone. I'm Brandie. Nice to meet you all. Welcome.
So go ahead and introduce yourself, give us a little bit of background, and just maybe a little bit of what we're going to talk about today.
So a little bit of my background is, ironically, I work in a clinical setting. I work in a hospital. I currently transitioned from UCSD in San Diego to Scripps. I work as a diet tech, so I'm with patients a lot, talking about their clinical diets, restrictions, all this really not so fun stuff. On the backside, just obtaining my certification through UCSD, through the Center of Integrative Medicine and Nutrition. So I'm just completed all of my certifications, so I am legit. I have learned a lot. It's pretty amazing when you work in a clinical setting, and it's a little bit outdated. So anyone that's a doctor, I'm sorry, but we need to work on our medical diets and our clinical diets. And through this process, I've learned so much about just like everyday ways to swap out foods, add nutrition dense. As women, you know, we're always working on our hormones. We're worried about our hair, our skin, our beauty, but that all comes from the inside out, right? And we're going to kind of tap into a little bit of that. I just gave a little sneak peek and a demo for later on some things that we could do to hydrate our bodies, to bring internal beauty, to really just kind of up our daily nutrition and our goals.
I'm so excited for this. I know we spoke a little bit before the stream, but you know, like my brain's already working with my questions and stuff. That's awesome. So just out of curiosity, because I'm like really interested, like what got you into this field? Was it, you know, something that you were already familiar with, or did you learn something new from somewhere and then you just, you know, researched it more? Like, you know, how did you become so passionate about it?
So in 13, I was dealing with a lot of hormonal issues. I was having a lot of really awful menstrual cycles. Everything was up and down. I was struggling and I was very sad, very depressed. Millen was my go-to because she's my everything for everything because she's brilliant. And I was diagnosed with endometriosis. I was diagnosed with uterine fibroids and ovarian cysts. So I had a trifecta of things going on in my body, and it was extremely painful. And it took about 6 months for doctors to really understand what was going on. So their immediate was to do a full hysterectomy, and I said no, I want to keep all my organs. I think that should be the last, not the first. Unfortunately, in conventional medicine, they want to kind of remedy, the immediate, but not really think of your body as whole. Yeah. So I went through a series of top-notch doctors, from integrative to conventional. And I ended up going to some really great doctors in Orange County in LA that were very expensive, and that's another thing I want to bring up, that this is things that we can maintain on a very economical status. And I changed my entire diet. So instead of just doing a hormone panel and a blood panel, we ended up doing a whole entire chem panel of my deficiencies in minerals, and found out that I was iodine deficient. And that was 90% of what was causing this, because a lot of women, we don't realize we're iodine deficient, which affects our thyroid, which affects our hormones. So everything goes wonky. So I cleaned up my diet. I got a Vitamix. I just started from scratch. And I cut out all animal, all dairy. I know it sounds super boring, but I had to go to the basics of what was really hindering my health. And I, little by little, within less than 3 months, I was able to dissolve everything in my body just by changing my diet. And
go ahead.
Millen was there. I mean, she's seen all of my x-rays, my MRIs. You could see all of these, cysts and stuff inside my body, which was really painful. And these were the size of grapefruits. So your uterus, is really tiny.
Yes.
And this is pressing on my organs and my spine. I was miserable. And I was like, oh my gosh. And that's what got me started, was like, if I can do this, anybody can do this. And it was life-saving for me. And then I just decided that I wanted to find a way to help other women.
That's amazing. Well, it's interesting that you say that, because, I am not like the perfect as far as like diet wise, but on the flip side, I'm like, oh, why, the vegan thing is just a fad, or no gluten. It's like, I feel like I'm not personally educated enough to even understand all that. So it sounds like somebody like you would be very, and, could share all that information as far as like the benefits and stuff, because I mean, we've talked about it plenty of times, with integrative health. It's, it starts, on the inside. It starts, with gut and what you're consuming and stuff. And I'm sure, like myself, a lot of people have questions, which we will have, opportunities to discuss those kind of things that we'll let you guys know at the end of the stream today, because I think it's very useful for, someone like myself who's not very, I would consider myself very healthy, but on the flip side, I can also be a lot more healthier. So I'm sure, a lot of us can. And what I was really intrigued about was, you mentioning that it doesn't have to be too expensive.
Right. That's the number one, misconception, is people feel like, oh my gosh, alternative, is this like some hippy dippy eating hemp seeds all day and avocados? Or is this going to cost me an arm and a leg because, I'm on a budget? Or, right now with our current situation, a lot of people are out of jobs. We're, just going moment to moment, feeding our families and kids. And I sort of like revamped going from this very expensive alternative to finding ways that I can extrapolate from my everyday shopping, places I can go to. And I really want to pontificate on that, because we're on the precipice of really changing, how we eat, how we live. It's not just being perfect. It's not about going on a diet. It's not about plant-based only and no animals. Like, I had bacon yesterday and I love it, but I don't eat it every day. You have to find a balance, and, seeking, okay, if you're craving it, eat it. If you want it, take it. But meanwhile, integrating these little everyday tricks to kind of give your body a little extra boost it's a world of a difference. And I'm living proof of that, to be able to reverse everything, go back to my conventional doctors. And they're like, well, these aren't the same x-rays. I was like, it is. It's just 3 months later. Yeah. So I am proof, and I hate to say prove them wrong, but in a way I did. And I've stuck to it, and I've kind of gone back and forth. So, if I can get.
You just really explained the power of, I think, some of the principles of integrative medicine. And I definitely think whatever happened to you was one of the first things in my mind that kind of started me on this journey to, seeing people like Brandie overcome disease and overcome medical issues through natural means. And I've done it with patients in the clinic very much around the same time. I think we both started, she started with her journey, and that I saw her journey, and I saw it with some other people that I started working on with vitamins and food and exercise, and saw people improve over that next, I think it was about 4 or 5 years, and realized this is where I really want, the direction I want to go in. And a lot of people are having outcomes like this by making simple changes, making dietary changes, moving more, and then, looking for deficiencies. Like Brandie had a full panel, and we do that at our office, is just doing that full panel and understanding, hey, what am I missing in my diet that could be just contributing to something that's just not off balance in my body. So anyway, we'll let Brandie talk some more, because she's got so much knowledge, which I just love, because, I love talking to different professionals. They have so much knowledge, because we as medical providers can only offer one slice, or, of the pie. There's this huge offering out there of different professionals with different focuses, like Brandie does. And she's going to talk more about stuff that she does and that she's working on, which are exciting.
So I guess then, if I was just somebody, who wanted to turn to changing, like my health and whatnot, I would go see someone like you, Dr. Millen, and then I guess somebody like Brandie, who would be more like specific with my diet and whatnot. Is that kind of like what your profession is, Brandie? Just because I'm like, I just want to make sure that I'm referring to it correctly.
Yeah, I am not a doctor. Millen has her degrees, and she's earned them, and she's amazing, and she's an expert in certain things. And I wanted to be more on the coaching side. I feel that it's very relatable when you're a working person. I'm in it every day, just like a lot of people, and I'm blessed and grateful that I have a job to go to. And you're exhausted, especially right now, working in a hospital. I'm on the front lines. I'm exposed. I have a lot of things that I have to take care of. And I've seen, people's lives just change on a dime. And a lot of this is nutrition. We're so worried about what we're putting on the outside of our bodies, our masks, our gloves, goggles, PPE, shields, but we're not thinking about what's in our body to prevent illness and disease. And, I don't want to get too scientific about it, but food is science and our body is science. And a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people think, oh, it's just food and it's just fuel, but there's a reason why certain things work together. There's a certain reason why our bodies don't produce and our food is depleted in general, because the planet's depleting. So we have to find sources and minerals and herbs and spices and vitamins to compensate. So that's why it's really important to get a Kim panel and get that done, because every single body is different. Not two people. What I take is not going to be the same of what you consume, right? So you have to find what it is, ask the right questions, and trust your instinct. A lot of this is just, a lot of people are going to be misdirecting you because they're looking at the dollar. And this is about wellness. This is about preventative. This is about the wholeness, and finding a group of people through these mediums like what we're doing now, and sourcing and really having that trust. And for you, that you feel like maybe you probably know more than you realize. It just hasn't really been brought to your attention.
Yes.
Just, to say,
that's
oh,
the way to put it. Exactly.
Yeah. What are you eating on a daily? Did you know if you just did this and this and this, you're like, oh my God, I have those things. Then you're already doing it. So empowering what you already have is the key for this, I find. Yeah.
I feel like we could talk about this for hours.
I know. Yes.
I'm like, okay, I got 50 million questions I want to ask.
Yes.
But yeah.
Do we have any questions?
It doesn't look like there's
Do we
too
have any
many of
questions
our
in the
friends
chat? I can't
on.
see the
That's
chat.
totally fine. We have
Okay.
one of my moderators and friends, Amanda, who is she's going to, I think she's going to nursing school. So it's always nice to see her like in the chat because I feel like she's kind of with it. But then we also have, other friends. I have other friends in here too that are like me, who don't really have much information about it. So no questions yet, but hopefully we'll get some, more.
So one of the beautiful things about integrative nutrition is if you have kids, this is a great way to introduce them to the benefits of plants and herbs and spices. If you have a picky eater, you can kind of sneak some things in there and boost their immune system. If you have pets, this is 100% pet friendly. Some things, obviously, you're going to admit, some dogs can't have things and cats can't have things, but chances are if you can eat it, your animal can eat it. And a lot of healthcare for animals, a lot of dogs go through heart issues and cats have a lot of kidney issues. And that's because of the food that they're eating. Just like humans, as we age, I run into a lot of patients that have diabetes and renal and kidney issues because they weren't taught how to eat properly.
Mm-hmm.
And animals don't have a say, right? They trust you. So if you're sort of buying bottom shelf ingredients, chances are people are feeding their pets how they feed themselves. So this is a really important way to kind of laterally take self-observance of, am I eating this? And am I going to eat this? And am I going to feed that to my kid or to my dog?
Right.
And people always say, oh, my dog would never eat that. But why would you want to give your dog something that they can't eat? Why would you want it? You know what I mean? It kind of goes through the same aspect. And I was an integrative pet nutritionist before I did this, which is really interesting. Yeah. So I've sort of gone the rounds and I decided, let me go work with humans. And it's a little tricky. Humans are a little bit more combative, but the rules apply. Same rules apply. My cat is on a very good raw diet and he gets his probiotics and prebiotics. He gets his omegas. He gets his powdered pumpkin for digestion and for, just enzymes and all these things that humans, we can consume in our food. And all of his food is human grade. So not that I'm going to share the same bowl, but there's options. Yeah. It makes full circle.
I have a 7-month-old puppy and he's super energetic right now. And I'm always like, am I feeding him enough? Like,
well,
because he's like, his metabolism, I feel like he's so skinny. And like, even today, he's actually at surgery right now, getting fixed. And the woman, I felt so bad because she was like, oh, he's like kind of, he's like on the slimmer side. And I'm like, I swear I feed him. He's just like so energetic. So like someone like you, that'd be like great to
yeah. So if you need some pet nutrition advice, I am your go-to for that. And I'm a huge animal advocate. And I think that that's something that is very misunderstood because the pet industry, just like, conventional medicine is a multi-million-dollar industry. And there's so much, stuff that's low grade that props this and props that, but it's really about what the ingredients, is it nutrient dense? Does it serve its purpose? Can you read those ingredients on the back? Same thing applies for food for pets.
So it looks like we have some more friends joining us. Hi, Tara. Hi, Aura. Nice. Thank you guys for joining. Tara Formation, who is a very good friend of mine. We're actually like very close neighbors now. Asked a really good question.
Yeah.
She wants to know, why are fruits and vegetables so expensive, yet manufactured food like fast food isn't? So frustrating. She's vegan. So I'm sure she, is familiar with the benefits and whatnot. So what is your guys' insight on that?
Millen, you want to go?
You want to? I have some ideas, but Bran. Oh, okay, I'll go. I'll go. Part of the reason is when we look at our food and farming practices in the U.S., when you do mass production and you use genetically modified and the way our farming practices are, that's why it caters to this sort of mass produced and fast food industry. But when you look at nice vegetables and fruits and they're organically farmed, they end up taking more resources. Pest control is different. It's not the Roundup or, those chemicals that they're spraying all over. And so when you're doing natural pest management and you're creating those vegetables and fruits in a natural way, I think it just costs more, and you've got more people working, and more things that you need. Probably need more water, to create fruits and vegetables. So that's why I think farming practices are different. And we have to remember that a lot of our larger food industries are subsidized by the government, and so that's why they're cheaper. And that's why corn's cheap, wheat's cheap. Even beef is cheaper, even though when you look at the amount of water it takes to produce beef, actually it's so wasteful for us to be eating, and it's not like I don't eat beef. So I'm not saying we shouldn't eat beef or we should eat beef, but what I'm saying is that certain industries are given subsidies, and I think that's why the food is cheaper. So there's a couple reasons. I don't know if Brandie, you want to add to that or?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think also you have to think about seasons, eating within the seasons. In California, we're really lucky because we get things year round, but we're so close to Mexico, and so much of our produce comes from Mexico, and it's cheap labor. So they can, the government doesn't give them a lot of money, and they work 15-hour days to produce all these things. And if you are supporting your local farms and your local communities, not to cut out that middle person, but you're paying for that farmer's land, their time, they specialize in certain things because they're going seasonally. So it's weird if we're in the middle of December and you're buying strawberries because it's not strawberry season, right?
Right.
So you have to think about, well, why am I buying that? That doesn't make sense, because back in the day, right, people were farming, and caveman, they were picking berries and things that weren't meat oriented. They were plant-based because it was hard for them to hunt all the time. I mean, if they got a buffalo, they were lucky, and they would feed a whole village. Here, we're sourcing a hamburger patty from, don't really know where that beef is coming from. You don't know what's in it. You don't know the shelf life, all kinds of pumped with antibiotics and chemicals that are dangerous to kids and to people. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many things. And so people complain, oh, it's so expensive to be plant-based. I'm like, well, pay now or pay later, I say, and pick and choose. You don't always have to get fresh. If you're on a budget, there's lots of great alternatives to dehydrated fruits and veggies that you can, constitute in a broth or water. There's lots of frozen fruits and veggies that, sometimes are a little bit more economical, that are organic, that you can purchase, that are on sale, and stock your freezer or stock your refrigerator. And it all depends on your circumstance. So, I applaud, that question, because
I wanted to add frozen foods. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say frozen foods actually maintain their vitamins and minerals. And so, they're great way to cook. And I know I grew up with my mom cooking frozen vegetables because a lot of the vegetables she cooked for Indian food were not available. And so she would get them in the frozen section. And, they do maintain their nutrients. So there's nothing wrong with frozen foods. I think we have to be a little careful with canned foods because there is tin. And so I know, we'd have to look into this, but I think the Tetra Pak is probably a little safer. And I just bought some because, you're in a pinch and you got to make tacos, you want to get some canned beans, but, you don't want the tin. So I know some places are now putting the beans in the Tetra Pak. So that's probably a little safer. Of course, everything has chemicals, all our plastics, all our, it's about reducing exposure. But there's economical ways to make foods and be healthy. Beans are really healthy. There's lots of things in packages that you can buy that are healthy.
Yeah, I always wondered about frozen veggies because I buy mostly frozen veggies, but it is so convenient too because that frozen spinach I want to add to some pasta. Like I can.
There's a stigma. There's a stigma with frozen food. We associate it, and it has this negative, like, oh, that's frozen.
Yeah.
And we sort of demystify that. Yeah, there's some things that I wouldn't buy frozen, but I buy a ton of organic frozen fruit because I go through a lot of smoothies. I go through a lot of, I'm always experimenting, and I don't want to spend, $20 on one thing if I'm like, oh, let me just try this out, and I'll do small things. And peas, frozen peas, we always, people use it for bruises or whatever. And I have bags of frozen peas, and it makes a great pesto. There's lots of options to puree things and keep the nutrient density and add it to something else and recreate a whole new dish. And then all of a sudden you're just like, oh my gosh, I had no idea I could make pea pesto, right? So there's so many fun things. Yeah.
Oh
and it costs you $2.
I know what pea pesto tastes like.
It's good. I mean, you're having to sort of sacrifice the fattiness of a pesto, right? I mean, it's spinach and it's a few other things, and basil or nuts or whatever. And some people have a nut allergy, and some people don't want to have Parmesan cheese. So you just kind of have to find what works for you. But, I've done many different versions. I've done a pea puree on a plate next to vegetables and a piece of fish. And it's a whole nother addition. So there's things that you can do. You just have to be creative and go to the resources and find ways. Yeah. I mean, my sister comes over and she's like, your pantry and your refrigerator is like bird food. I was like, that's what you see, but I see amazing things. So that bird food's going to last me a long time.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh.
Since we have some more friends in the chat, do any of you guys have questions as far as, for either one of these ladies? If you do, definitely just type it in the chat. Otherwise, we can go ahead and, I guess, move on. You had some stuff you wanted to share, Brandie?
Yeah, so I wanted to just give you a little demo of some things, some future topics that Mill and I are going to dive into in the next 6 weeks. And one of them is hydration, and another topic is sugar cravings. So for hydration, this is a really underestimated topic because people associate, I don't drink enough water. And if you're craving something and you feeling like you want a snack or you're, hungry, usually it's because you're thirsty. Now we have this thing in our heads where we have to eat and drink, I don't know how many glasses of water a day. And you see people walking around with these big canteens of water, which is really unnecessary, right? It's heavy, it's lugging, it's obnoxious, and it doesn't fit in your car and your backpack, and it weighs 20 pounds. I mean, who's walking around with a gallon of water? So my idea, and I've learned a lot through this nutrition programs, is, hydration comes in many, many forms, and it comes in food: cucumbers, watermelon, lemon, vegetable broth, soup, bone broth. These are, bell peppers, and these are all things that you can obtain. Right now cucumbers are on sale. I don't know why, for $4. And I was like, yes, stock me up so I can make cucumber juice. Yeah. You keep some of the peel on, take some of it off because that feels a little bit bitter. But if you add it and puree it or blend it or whatever you have as, your kitchen tool, add a little bit of lemon, a little bit of Himalayan pink salt. That's the perfect combination. A lot of people are addicted to these little packets. Can you see that? It's like Power Pack. I bought these because this one specifically says keto friendly. And this one is just, energy, immunity, hydration. But what's in this? The number one ingredient, and this one cost me $2 at the fancy grocery store. First ingredient is certified organic sugar. This one, the first ingredient is xylitol. Boo! So you're spending $4 on this when you can buy, $5 worth of a fruit and a vegetable, frozen, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we need to get away from these prepackaged things and all of these ingredients, all of these things. It's frustrating because Millen, you have an amazing toolbox of nutrients, things that we can consume on a daily or weekly to not stay away. These are packaged. This is packaged. This has no nutrients. You're having to hydrate this. And what is the recommended dose? 2 to 3 ounces of water for this to reconstitute it. 3 ounces of water. The average is what, 8 ounces?
Mm-hmm.
So bad, right? So I have a little demo. So someone has a question. What is she asking?
Someone has a question. I don't know if it pertains to what you're talking about, we can always go back to it. He said that his son is B12 deficient, metabolizes fast, doesn't gain much weight, and they eat healthy and fresh. Any recommendation?
She has a sensitive stomach. So,
Yeah.
congee, I'm a big fan of congee. If you don't know what congee is, you can look it up. You can read about it. Every culture around the world has some form of porridge that they eat. Porridge, again, has a really negative sort of, oh, you're eating porridge. Americans, we eat cream of wheat or oatmeal. Other countries, you have congee in the Asian community, and other parts of the Middle East, you have another, jute. You have all these different things. And what it is, it's a base of water and rice. So it sounds so simple, but you take whatever rice you choose. I prefer to use like jasmine rice because I like the aromatic of it. And you cook it for a very long time. So normally, the ratio for rice is like 1 cup rice, 2 cups water. This, you're going to do 1 cup rice, 6 cups water. And you bring the water to a boil, a teeny bit of salt, you put your rice in there, and you let it cook for about an hour. And over time, it releases all of these starches, but it becomes very mushy. And the texture of it isn't like rice. It's like hot cereal or hot soup. Now, in Asian culture, they use bones, bone broth chicken. It's very traditional for vegans and vegetarians. You can omit that and, just use water. I've done both. I've tried many different grains. Quinoa doesn't work so much, but I've done all kinds of Middle East things, all different kinds of grains and rices. And I found for me, jasmine works the best. And what it does is, the way that your digestive tract works and your colon, especially if you're sensitive, is in the morning, your body's waking up, right? So, you kind of need to eat a little something, and you can add a little bit of ginger, a little bit of turmeric for anti-inflammatory and digestion. You can leave it at that and just eat that first thing in the morning. And that slows the digestive tract down so your body doesn't go into shock. And when you're sensitive, you're not digesting so much as absorbing nutrients. So for this young boy that has a B12 deficiency and a digestive issue, this is a great alternative to just having toast. Is very, it's dehydrating to the body, right? When you eat toast, you're like, and cream of wheat, not everybody's excited about cream of wheat or oatmeal. So this is a great alternative, and kind of mix and match. Some people use brown rice. I've did for my final project for school, a congee recipe. And I used all kinds of different vegetables. It's on my Instagram, and it's beautiful. And I got an A because I just really did I took it to the next level, because I believe that we eat with our eyes. And when food is more beautiful, we're more enticed to eat it. So yeah, congee, look up congee, find it. It's really amazing. There was a great article in the Stanford's Medicine. I can't remember their magazine, but they have a magazine, and they did a whole article of congee is the new oatmeal. And yeah, it's all about the science and how it aids in the body. Yeah, I know.
I have to.
Well, the great thing about the rice. Yeah, sorry. I think my audio is a little off. The great thing about rice is it's not as inflammatory as the wheat products and so what are kids eating in the morning? Cereal, toast, pancakes, waffles,
milk, dairy, things that are
and what have we done? Right.
It's really interesting, and this is going to be a hot topic for people. I'm going to push a button or two, but we're the only mammal that continues to drink milk after we've been weaned. And milk has sugars in it that our bodies become addicted to. That's why when we're babies, we need all of that, because the milk and what the mommy produces and the microbiome and all of these very, very, intense minerals, things that we need, coats our bodies as babies. And that's how we learn to develop our immune system. Some people say, oh, just let them play out and go eat dirt and do whatever. And yeah, that's important to be exposed, but it starts, when you're a baby. And then there's a reason why all mammals wean off of milk, right? So humans were conditioned in our culture to drink milk because milk gives you vitamin D and it makes you strong. And that's, a little propaganda, because the milk industry suffers. people become more educated. And that's why you have all these alternatives, but you have to be careful with your alternatives, making sure what's the sugars are these, what's processed. Is it, you can make almond milk with 2 ingredients, water and almonds. That's it. Done. Let it sit overnight, puree it, put it through a little bit of cheesecloth, and you have instant, you can do it with oatmeal, right? Take your oats, soak them, strain them through. You have oat milk. Like there's so many easy, less expensive alternatives. And not to go on a tangent, but our kids are trained, have your glass of milk, drink your juice, eat your cereal, like Millen says, have your toast. We're looking for quick, easy ways because we're in a routine, and we wonder why our kids are having, digestive issues and ADD and high blood pressure and, the onset of obesity, inflammation. That's a huge thing. Kids are having brain fog because the chemicals that are in our food, and we have to, train them and teach them, and by example, right? I mean, I'm seeing it now. So much more younger people are being admitted to hospitals for all kinds of disease and illness. And a lot of it is, the food that we're eating. It's breaking down our bodies, our kidneys, our liver, our stomach, our intestines, GI tract.
Yeah. You were going to give us a little example of something. I'm sorry.
Oh, yes. Okay. So,
but thank you so much for the question, DJ Andres Antonio. Thank you.
So, when I was on my little kanji journey
go to the
with
big
school, me? What'd she say? Oh, Millen?
I was saying go to the big view. Oh, I was saying go to the view. I'm gonna try to switch my Wi-Fi while can you show a big view of her and then what she's doing and then.
Okay, so when I was doing my kanji and I was looking for ingredients and I was doing research and I was really trying to cater to inflammatory, and a lot of people were struggling right now with anxiety and stress and trying to build a cohesive meal. And I discovered butterfly pea. Now, butterfly pea flowers, this is really interesting. This is a type of flower that is grown traditionally in Vietnam and Malaysia. And it grows on a vine. I'm going to see if I can show you. This is dehydrated. I ordered mine off of Amazon. So it looks like a little blue flower. And it carries a lot of antioxidant and anti-anxiety. So it's a natural way to kind of aid to your body. You can cook with it. You can bake with it. There is a butterfly pea powder that you can order. So you can make all kinds of things. So you're getting a lot of nutrients. And I decided to make a little bit of a tea to show you how amazing this is. So I brewed it. I have this little Japanese teapot. And I poured some out in a little jar, and it's blue. Can you see how blue that is? It's really, really beautiful. And I'm going to pour this in here so you could see how pretty this is. And I squeezed a lemon. And the beautiful part about this is when you add lemon juice, it turns purple. It's like magic. So tea, water, lemon, you could add a little bit of ice to it. It has a very, very soft floral flavor. And it's so good. I have a little silicone mat that has little puppy prints because I have a cat and I make a lot of little treats for my dog. So I made little jelly, can you see them? Little paw prints using tea. And this is great for kids. This is a great way to incorporate some nutrients, non-sugary treats. You can make ice cubes. You can do all kinds of things. But I really wanted to just kind of emphasize the power of plants. So butterfly pea flowers, if you look them up, there's so many healing properties. Number one is anti-anxiety, helps you sleep, helps you rest, aids in digestion. There's a lot of really beautiful things. And it's purple, which is antioxidants, right? So not just grapes and not just wine, but actual tea that can really heal your body. And it's always recommended maybe to drink this tea in the evenings. It doesn't have any caffeine. It's all natural. So that's just like a little thing I wanted to bring attention to. And I just use a regular organic lemon. And that's it. So, and then to make my little gummies, I used agar powder. So if no one knows what agar is, this is derivative from seaweed. So you're getting all kinds of minerals and all kinds of really good things.
Ooh, I really want to try that. So you just found it on Amazon? Is there like a, you know, because I feel like you can find everything on Amazon, but sometimes, you know, are safer than, some things are safer than the other. Is it something that you should look for as far as, you know, any kind of certification or like it being organic, or is
I
it
would say, you know, it's always iffy when you're buying stuff online. If you can find it and source it in maybe like a natural store, great. I've had a really hard time finding it. There was one place here in San Diego called Specialty Produce, and it's a giant warehouse that caters to restaurants, and now they're open to the public. And they had this butterfly powder and a butterfly tea, but it was not organic. So I passed. Okay. Because I think if it's sourcing, you want to make sure you're getting the purest of that product. And it might have been a little bit cheaper, but I was just like, I'm not going to trust that because I'm a little, you know, stickler for that kind of stuff. So I went on Amazon. You know, everyone that's shopping, you're going to look at the reviews. You're going to look at where it's sourced. You're going to look at where it comes from. You know, this girl had really great reviews. It's organic. It's certified. You know, all of those things that are really important. And it goes a long way. You know, dry tea and herbs are really, really powerful because you just reconstitute, and it's so versatile. And, you know, I don't know. It's just a fun little thing. I love that it's purple. I love that it's
so bad.
You know,
it's like grabbing my phone, like, what do I look for? Like,
yeah. And, you know, these.
So it's called butterfly tea?
Butterfly pea, P-E-A, butterfly pea flowers.
Oh, okay.
Just Google it and it'll come up with so many different things. And there's so many, you know, a handful of YouTube videos, a little bit of tutorials. I think it's still a little bit of a hidden treasure. Yeah. So if you go to my Instagram, Brandie Wine Tomato, B-R-A-N-D-I-E, Brandie Wine Tomato, scroll through past the cat photos, you'll come across my kanji project, and it really emphasizes how the beautiful I soaked my rice in this tea, so the tea is bright purple and the kanji is purple, and the contrasting it with all kinds of marigolds and beautiful flowers and all kinds of healing foods. So it doesn't have food and kanji, and you know, it doesn't have to be boring and bland. You can, you know, really up your game and make something fancy for, like, you know, really not a whole lot of money. So I really,
it looks so like fancy. It looks like
it does.
You would pay $6 to go get at a coffee shop,
if not more. I mean, it's, you know, there's a couple tea places here in San Diego that they call it unicorn tea because everything's like unicorn and mermaid tea. And you know, it's like $12, and I was like, what? I can make that for pennies.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm debunking the mystery now of whoever's going to that coffee shop and spending $12 on unicorn tea. This is what it is. And this is why it's the color is it comes out blue, and you add lemons, a chemical reaction, and then it turns purple. So if you put it on ice, you can watch the gradation. And if you know are drinking cocktails, it's really good with like vodka or a little bit of tequila. I know. So I'm just saying, if you're adulting and you kind of need a little something, you know, you're still drinking plants.
Yeah.
So I'm justifying this to add
with a little alcohol in there.
With a little bit of alcohol. So
I need to update. So I'll add that on there.
Yeah, add it to your list. You know, you can entertain your friends and your people, and it just looks like you're drinking.
Idea.
I know it makes great for martinis. It's great on the rocks with a little bit of tequila, a little bit of lemon or lime. You don't have to add sugar to it, and you're still getting benefits of eating something or drinking something that is good for your body, right? So you kind of want to counterbalance that, and that's my little tidbit of the day. So yeah, I mean, why not?
Sometimes I do like a happy hour stream on Fridays, so I think I'm gonna order some and then make some for next week.
Yeah, I mean, you know, why not? And you know, I think the lemon is, you know, the key to getting it this really beautiful purple color. And, you know, lemon is anti-inflammatory, it's antimicrobial, it oxygenates the blood. So you're getting all of the benefits. And if you're drinking tequila, you know, that's a plant. You can buy organic tequila and agave, you know, at Trader Joe's for, you know, $25, $30 for, I know it seems like a lot, but when you're only using 1 or 2 ounces,
right? You
know, you're still getting benefits. You're still consuming a plant. You kind of go, that's my theory, at least. So
I think we need to have a whole episode on like quote unquote healthy cocktails.
Yes, quarantine cocktailing, you know.
That would be so fun. We should
Yeah.
plan on doing
Yes. And
That's
right now, you know, everyone is quarantine cooking. So we're trying to find ways to,
Right.
you know, kind of up what we're doing. And everyone's so sick of eating the same thing, buying the sauce, you know, there's fear factors, there's all these things, and we're running out of ingredients. You know, I work in a hospital and we're constantly running out of stuff because we can't get it from our vendors. And
Right.
hospital food is changing, everything is changing. And when we get home, when I get home, you know, I just feel like, oh, I need something to boost my body, right? And there's all these, you know, extras and little tidbits, and you know, you're going to spend, you know, $15 maybe on a bag of tea, but this is going to last you a very long time, depending on how many cocktails you're having. So, you know,
I think we
entertain
need
your
a
friends.
program. We need a program on teas because, you know, there's so many teas that have so much healing power, and it's such a powerful way to relax at the end of the day. Like, I mean, I don't want to advocate for alcohol every day because we know
Right.
that's not good for
Right.
us. I mean,
Right.
yeah, every Friday,
Right.
no problem.
Right.
You know, I think a little alcohol on Fridays is fine, but you know, teas are such a great way to relax. And, you know, there, and I think this butterfly pea, I was just looking on it on the internet. I mean, $12
Yeah.
for a bag. I mean, that's, you know, something
Yeah.
beautiful and colorful and looks neat.
Right.
And, you know, when we're talking about kids too, you know, one of the, I think I talked about this before, is one of the cute rituals I have with my teenage son is having tea, you know, in the evening when we're stressed about something, a big test the next day, or, you know, you have something going on, you know, let's just have a cup of tea as a family after dinner and, you know, unwind a little bit and talk a little bit. So tea can be powerful chemically as something to put in your body, but it can be
Oh yeah.
powerful
Tea's
as a
amazing.
social way of interacting with your family and relaxing. So I love this idea of butterfly pea
I love that
flower
it's,
tea.
you know,
And
yeah. And one of the people, one of my managers at work, you know, she has a little boy and he's a picky eater. And I was like, you can make them into popsicles, you know, you can freeze them and, you know, add a little bit of juice to give a little bit more sweetness. And you can add coconut water, which is also a really great hydrating property. And it's got a little bit of sweetness to it. And it has a lot of, you know, electrolytes and things that are good for the body in small amounts, you know, it's because it's a little bit high in sugar. But see, those alternatives, you can put blueberries and strawberries and freeze it and just do something really healthy, you know, especially right now, flu season's coming, you know, kids are going to have runny noses. You need something that's going to soothe the throat. You can make little, you know, healing properties and add a little bit of turmeric in there. You know, Millen, you and I've had thousands of cups of tea, and you are my
and
guru
other
of,
things.
and other things. But you know, I've
Which
known
we will
Millen,
not mention.
right? Also, alternative properties and healing in different forms, and
And it came with a lot of dancing, which is really good for the soul.
good for the soul. Any, you know, just all kinds of happiness we had as, you know, younger women. And Millen, without a doubt, was my guru for tea. You know, no matter what kind of day, no matter what I was going, she's like, come over, I'll make you chai. And I was like, Mom, she makes the best chai. And every time
I love tea.
Every time I
Chai
see her,
is so healing.
so healing. And, you know, I think culturally, Americans are steering away from certain traditions. And I love that, you know, the Indian culture, the Middle East culture, Chinese, Asian culture, tea is, you walk into someone's house and you're greeted with a cup of tea because that's just how it goes. And they feed you until you can no longer eat. And that's love on a whole nother level. So, you know, Americans, we don't carry those traditions as strong. And I think, Millen, I think we should do an episode of tea, all different tea, green, white, red, purple.
Oh my gosh,
shout out to our Latin culture, because I love when, you know, talk about food and teas. I think teas are really big in Latin culture too, because all my patients will come and say, oh, you know, I'm taking chamomile tea or hibiscus, buena, or, you know, so teas are huge in all cultures. I think our American culture has really gotten away from we focused on coffee, and coffee has a lot of great properties as well. But
Right.
I think when you add the milk and the sugar and all this other stuff into the coffee, then really becomes something a little more toxic. Whereas tea is really about water and herb, and that is where you're getting those healing properties. And it's soothing. There's something about soothing that's great about tea. So,
Mhm.
we're almost at the end, and I don't know. Do you have another demo, Brandie, or are you all set? You showed your
Do I
demo?
have, I think I showed my demo. I don't have
Oh,
anything
okay.
else on hand other than
We're
I
gonna
did
have to
try
save
to,
it for the next time.
yeah, for sure. I just really wanted to kind of showcase a little
Yeah,
sneak peek of,
yeah,
you know, simple basic things. You could order your tea online today and be like, hey, you
yeah,
know what? I'm going to try this and I'm going to
yeah,
have fun with it.
yeah.
And now you have a new little something that isn't going to
Yeah.
cost you a fortune. And who knows? I mean, it's just fun. Food should be fun. We should be enjoying this. I know everyone is really stressed. Our country is in stress. Our adrenal glands are
Oh,
going
yeah.
crazy. We are fatigued. Another issue with hydration and
Yeah.
finding foods, finding things to soothe it. Cucumbers are very soothing, and watermelon is really soothing. And we could make these, celery is another underestimated vegetable. A lot of people are
Yeah.
associated with the Bloody Mary, which is great. Going back to cocktails, but it's not just a garnish.
We have a theme going.
Celery
Well,
has. Go
I was
ahead.
going to say, Brandy, this is a preview for what we're going to talk about because we're almost done with the hour. This is a preview
Yes.
for what we're going to do in our
Yeah.
group
And if
medical
there's,
visits. And I just want to
yeah.
give a little shout out for that.
Millen,
So
your
we're
video
going to
is
be holding
frozen,
these
but
group
we can
medical
still
visits.
hear you.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Oh, yeah, I'm having Wi-Fi issues today. So I even changed it over, but it's still not working very well. But I do want to give a shout out to our group medical visits, which will be coming up. We're doing two free group medical visits, one in November and one in December. I think that's November 15th and I don't have it on the top of my head. November 15th and December 6th. So I want anybody who's interested to email me and Amanda, and we will be registering you. We're going to have about anywhere from 6 to 10 people in any of those sessions, and they're free medical visits. And what we do in those medical visits is offer medical advice, education, and peer support. And this is going to be myself and Brandie as our nutrition specialist coach. And we're going to be talking, the first session, we're going to be talking about gut microbiome and hydration, which she's already talked a little bit about, so hydrating foods. And the second one, we're going to talk about anxiety, which Brandie's talked about this, wonderful tea she's introduced us to. There's lots of other teas, and we'll put that in there into that discussion in the group, and herbs that help. And we're going to talk about sugar cravings. So that's November 15th and December 6th. Email us if you're interested in joining. It would be lovely to see you in a group session. You would have to register as a patient. And yeah, looking forward to those. Brandie and I are really excited about offering this, and we're hoping to make it a regular
Yeah.
offering. So yeah,
Yeah, and if
anything else?
people have questions, between now and then, if you're going to join the next topic or live feed, submit some questions about some things, and let us kind of
Yeah.
do some like Q&A and some research, and really kind of help you, because there's nothing more frustrating than if you feel like I just can't figure this out, and there's a whole team of people here that are stepping up.
Yeah. Someone had asked about your website, but I had posted your Instagram. If you follow the Lotus Integrative Health Instagram, we'll also repost Brandie's information. So definitely follow us. Our website is on the stream as well, lotusintegrativehealth.com. Our Instagram is
At Lotus IHN.
Yeah, it's
at Lotus IHN.
At Lotus HN. Isn't it IHN? Okay.
Yeah, IHN. Yeah, probably my audio is breaking up.
I can put it in the chat as well. But if you follow me, which is the same handle as which I repost a lot of the stuff that we do from our Instagram, the Lotus Instagram. So we'll definitely share more things from Brandie, and then hopefully you guys will be able to follow. But yeah, I really encourage you guys to take advantage of the free the sessions that we're going to be offering. I will post on my Instagram as well. But if you follow our Instagram, the Lotus Integrative Health Instagram, we post a lot of, you know, not only advertising, obviously, but, you know, just things to help you through your day, you know, food ideas, drink ideas, alternative things, you know, instead of the regular, you know, taking pills and whatnot. It's like, I found that there are other ways than, you know, just going and getting medicine. The natural way to do things and whatnot. And both of these ladies are very well trained in, you know, all of that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in that, definitely check out the sessions that we're offering. I'm sure. I mean, that was just so cool, just learning about that butterfly PTM.
Yay! See if I can inspire one person to just sort of, you know, integrate something alternative and make food fun, and you get to learn and you get to share it. That's the key, right? I mean, that's really what our goal is, to help each other, to support, to bring new, fun, innovative ways, you know, to make our bodies healthy, our mind, our hearts, our souls. And that's really the bottom line. And, you know, we can talk all day about all these different alternatives and options, and, you know, at the end of the day, you're going to make what feels right for you, and to spread the word and use this platform. It's amazing. I mean, so much information we shared just in this hour. And, you know, I hope that people come back, and I hope that you continue coming back and supporting. You know, I'm new to the game. I don't have a website yet. I'm working on it. I'm going to probably start maybe a YouTube channel, and just, you know, everyday integrative, simple things like this tea. Is, you know, why not? I mean, kid-friendly stuff, pet-friendly stuff, a little bit of everything. And just kind of, you know, think about it, how this extends not just to you, but to your family, to your pets, to your life, to your work. You know, if you're not working, you know, we're all at home, you know, emotionally eating. There's so many things that are going on. And, you know,
and those of you who are just joining us, I do keep my streams up on my channel on Twitch, but we also are on SoundCloud. I post our streams kind of like podcast style, so you don't have to worry about the chat or, you know, missing out on that. You can listen to it, you know, when you're going to work. We also have our YouTube channel also. But I would say the fastest and easiest way to get in contact with us social media wise is through Instagram. And we always repost, you know, our other social.
Yeah, same here. If you go to Brandie Wine Tomato and you have any other questions, shoot me a question, send me a message, you know, comment on something, go through my information, because there's a lot of stuff on there that I don't really talk about, because some people are visual. You know, you don't want to always, that's why we're there, to have fun, right? To kind of just go through things. But there's a lot of purpose and thought behind things that I make, ingredients that I use to provoke you to sort of, you know, pique your interest. And that goes for everybody. So for all of you out there.
So for now, you just have the Instagram. Is that correct?
So right now I just have my Instagram. Yes, Brandie Wine Tomato is my Instagram. I'm working on other social media. I am on TikTok, but I go under a different name. Creativity is my superpower. That's my title. And it's a lot of just fun stuff. It's not nutritional stuff, but if you want to be easily entertained and you love cats, come to my TikTok.
Her cat channel.
It is.
We're multifaceted people.
I love that.
I am. You know, I love, somehow I got looped into that. So I'm not going to lie. You know, sometimes I wish I didn't have that app on my phone, but it's fun. But I'm thinking of, you know, changing it up and adding a second channel, or just making it more nutrition based for this reason, because there isn't a lot of platforms. People aren't really talking about this. There's a lot of doctors and nurses right now on social media blasting, you know, all this fear factor. And it's really frustrating, because we have to be smart. We have to be cautious. We have to be mindful. We don't have to be scared. All the time. I mean, it's a scary time, and I get it, but there's ways that we can do other things to put ourselves at ease. And our home should be our sanctuary, and we should feel safe, and we should be confident in what we're doing. And, you know, I see it every day, and I can choose to be miserable and sad and frustrated, and I come home, and, you know, there's days where I cry, and, you know, I'm with patients and things are not so great. But then on the flip side, I'm like, you know what? I'm doing my part, and gratitude is everything, and, paying it forward. So there's ways that we can get through all of this together. We're all in this together.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much.
You're
Like I
so
said,
welcome.
I
Yes.
could like sit here and ask so many questions, like hours and hours on it. But I look forward to having you hopefully back on to the stream.
Yeah.
I mean, and just, us talking about some ideas, it sounds fun, and I'm sure, I have lots of friends who have been coming in and out. So thank you guys for joining us. And then Millen, can you just let us know one more time how, if people are interested, how they can take advantage of the free sessions that we're going to be having?
So we're going to be having these free sessions. Again, they're virtual group medical visits, and basically we'll be doing some medical advice, going over some topics, and providing peer support. You would email us at info@lotusintegrativehealth.com to register. You do have to register as a patient, but they are absolutely free sessions that Brandie and I will be offering. Basically, they're called group medical visits, and we will be doing them online, so virtually. And yeah, we're really excited to be offering this. I think it's a great way to get medical care. It's also at, right now we're offering it free, but we are going to eventually charge for them, and it will be at a really low price point. So it's a really great way to interact with medical professionals and get information that's accurate and applicable to your situation, and other people. I think when other people in a group, they all have the same questions and they learn from each other. So it's a really fun way to do medical visits. I've done them in the past in community health settings, and we have just had such a great time. And I love the fact that Brandie's going to be working with me, because I think the nutrition piece is so important to that. So
yeah,
gotta put my brain to work
so
now. That's studying.
All righty.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Brandie. Thank
You're
you
welcome
for joining me. Thank you, friends, for joining.
Let me know if you get that tea. If you get the tea,
I'm like
let me know.
Order it. The first thing I'm gonna do is repost your Instagram so that everyone can follow you.
Okay, perfect. Please. Yeah.
And then well, I'm gonna order the tea, because like I said, I just ordered something from Amazon, so I gotta add that too. Because I actually yesterday I was streaming because I just felt kind of very stressed out about a lot of things going on, and I had a very busy morning, and there I was. I had like my chamomile tea, my sleepy time tea, and it was just relaxing, and it's like magic. I forget,
So you're gonna have to buy like a clear cup or a clear glass.
Yes.
So you can really showcase the beauty and then get more attention and be like, hey, this is magic potion tea. Right? Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. Right.
Well, thank you, girls, again. Everybody have a great day, and we will see you soon. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Everyone. See you soon.